Okay, so that's like 20 feet overhead, okay? Where'd it go? This is Montgomery, Illinois, right outside the Walmart. That happens literally over my head every 5 minutes. And it's like, a more gracious person would be flattered because they are investing a lot in this. You know, I have no credibility, but they do things like this to like show me the midst of the things I'm caught up in, to leave me at the will of these local pedophiles. All of these things right here who do their cycles on the ground. These are the ones responsible for cycles on the ground. Okay, you see them doing this. Now they gotta get the fuck out of here because I'm taping people in the background. This is the Truman Show. This is what my life is. And day to day, I'm at the mercy of military cowards who place punctures in my tires. See, I don't know if you can see that, which is unmendable. It's too close to the nozzle. It's a perfect strategic place to do that. Just jam something in there and cause this because it's unmendable. I have to buy a new one. They already cost me a tire yesterday, an inner tube yesterday. Target gave me a free one. Couldn't believe they did it, but they did it because my mending kit didn't work on their thing. I think that was why they decided to. But they got me back for that. They made me, the second I replaced the thing, this goes out. This headphone goes out for no, that's a coincidence, I guess. I can't prove it wasn't. But they got me again today. So they punctured in the night when I'm sleeping. Whenever I'm not directly watching my stuff, they cycle people everywhere I go. They cycle people around me. This is the military Truman Show. None of them are true men. I am the only Truman. I'm the only Truman. These are all cowards. Your local military around these places, Yorkville, Plainfield, Oswego, Montgomery, Aurora, Naperville. Cowards. Absolute cowards. They operate in secret. They use their children. They molest their children. They are absolutely worthless. America, this is what you're funding. Them to come in stealthily, puncture my tires, but it's like still against the rim. You see this where this is? Against the rim. They make the puncture. It nestles up against the rim. It doesn't let out all the pressure. I use it for 10 minutes today. Now the pressure's gone. Unmendable, and I have to get a new one because they got to drive their point home because this is the military, a bunch of absolute baboon cowards who get absolutely infuriated by someone like me who never went through boot camp but is in better shape and more formidable on any sort of physical altercation than 99% of all of their awful soldiers who never see combat, do some weakling little tour and then get a paycheck the rest of their life. And probably assign like a wife, and they contribute to the local pedophile pool around like a Yorkville or an Oswego. I'm wondering if YouTube's gonna let me post this, but that's my intention. So again, I already posted this video, but I gotta reiterate, that has to be a manufacturing defect twice in a row, which I find very hard to believe. Or much more easy to believe, right outside CSL Blood Plasma in Montgomery. And then they had like 2 of their employees watching my reaction to seeing these things because I said something about some goober intake that was calling me strange when all the other ones are flattered to talk to me. And like, we have fun. I try to make them laugh. I have no other people to talk to in my whole life besides Smalls. Try to make these young ladies laugh. And most of them, I could tell they're receptive to just a sociable young man. Some absolute repulsive looking gargoyles like calls me like strange 4 times and is just like creating an incident because of what she looks like. And I say something about it in my phone as I'm wont to do, and it always gets the reaction of the locals. They're all listening to these things. You wouldn't think it's possible. I wouldn't think it's possible, except validated a million times. And I sound something schizophrenic in these things. Imagine having a plane going directly over you, hardly to the left or right, directly over you, dozens of times a day, and then having to deal with these things. So it's like, you think, those guys are telling me they're my friend, even as the Lord says, worry not for the skies, for even so is the heathen confounded. It's like we're a team. But no. Like, then you got to deal with these things. What use is the the protection detail, if it can't stop cowardly malcontents from going to my dwelling place and costing me $15 that I don't have any given day because I've been blacklisted. But I do have to give blood, so that's how the only way I can smoke, which is the only way to not hate life, is to smoke marijuana alone, always alone. So like so here's a band right here. They let me know every time they come up. This is part of the cycles, the prophecy of Ezekiel. It's not like I'm some divine figure. Think of it as a political figure. They have heard some extraordinary political discourse, monologues actually, out of me, myself, and I as I sit here and watch them. So I gotta ask my cowardly governmental military, who has oversight of all these things and thinks of me as a petulant child. Your pedophiles, your employees, come and puncture my stuff in the dark because they're cowards and because they're afraid of their deeds. And you have dozens of planes go over me and you're sending conflicting messages. Or do I ever get reimbursed for my grand futility of daily existence? Just going to the gym to work off some steam so I can come back and write, so I can then go to the gym and then come back and write? I have to pay for these things every single day. I have to whore myself for $60 a day, twice a week, for a fat moron at the place who wears a mask of his own face on his face. Some disgusting looking white lay minister whiskery thing that is the absolute nightmare of little children. Let me just say that every church, it's less a theologic institution than it is a pedophile child pornography dissemination point. Think of it like that, America. Okay, so but hoping to get a response back from my same government that does the planes overhead, which I don't appreciate, because scumbag cowards of its own military institution come and stab my shit in the night. Stab my shit. I'm not meaning to sound like that's gay. Stab my fucking tire in the night and ruin my next day. You see, it's very frustrating. And I'm supposed to sound crazy. But I mean, so that they didn't do the plane again. I challenged them to do the plane. I was yelling at them to do the plane, and they sent one that doesn't look like Air Force Two. Several times a day, it's Air Force Two that they send. And it's like, this is an official jet over my head, and it's every day I see it, and every day it causes my amazement, multiple times a day. And they hear me say, "You silly fucks, how you find me so important as to use that, to go to all that grand expenditure to let your disgusting, cowardly, pensioned soldiers come and puncture my tires as I sleep," is rather hard to reconcile.